All right. What is up, my late night maker community? Hope you guys are having a good night. Getting right back into where we left off last night, and that is going to be assembling more parts to our Voron switch wire using our Ender 3 Pro. And we're going to assemble the rest of or get as far as we can with assembly of the hot end tonight. And so I did have some conversation with one of the guys at work, and we discussed a couple things. And so I'm kind of going to opt for one of the routes that, you know, makes the most sense. And so the Sabura kit got shipped with 2 different hot end makeups. And I kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday, is that one of the makeups is with the high temp with the dual metal variation of the hot end assembly to run some more advanced materials versus the one they recommend for running like PLA and whatnot. And I was like, well, why would we not just run the higher temp one the entire time? I forget where I set it down. And so that's where we're at right now. Is like, why not just run the higher temp hot end wherever I put it. As soon as I find it, that is. I don't know where I set it down. We will find out. Where did I put you? Oh, you know what? I better put it back in the case. So I'm going to go back to the case. Yep, I put it back in the case. I'm an idiot. Alright, so we have these guys, and so we had the two-tone metal with the CHT nozzle was one of the options. The other option was the standard nozzle, and we're going to pull the standard nozzle out of the heat block. And we talked through some things that we identified yesterday. So there's my standard nozzle. And I'm not going to worry about that. We're just going to go with the CHT nozzle with the higher temp hot end. And so I talked with one of my buddies at work who's assembled quite a few Vorons in his time. And so in our conversation, we're like, well, why don't we just run the 2 metal one and get better heat transfer, you know, versus with the CHT nozzle versus running like the standard with the normal nozzle. I was like, well, why wouldn't we? And he's like, I don't know. I don't understand why we would do that. And then as I assembled it last night, I had an issue with the radiator not sinking all the way down or being canted from the actual lock position. So we talked through positioning as well. And so the positioning is supposed to be set that I had the throat not locked all the way down and the nozzle locked all the way in, whereas it should be that the throat threads all the way in. And we can actually put some thermal paste on here. Just put a little dab in there on some of that threading. Because I wasn't able to get them aligned appropriately, so that when we dropped it in, we were getting a misalignment for what would be locking it into its carriage. And so we're going to adjust that so that now we will have the heat block. And the heat block, the instructions don't say to, but it should be with the thermal element and the screw that locks it into place for pinching, and the grub screw need to be down. And our throat's going to come in from the top. I'm going to lock that all the way down. And then we're going to take the actual nozzle, and the nozzle is going to go in on the side opposite. So you should have exposed threading on the bottom, pinching these two together. Whereas yesterday's my installation was, I had the throat backed out and this not all the way sink down. So now this, we should be able to take the radiator, thread the radiator on. And then you get it so that the holes will correlate. Now it's going to be trying to get this thing, if there's an alternate threading on it. So you need those holes to correlate with where the locking is going to be at. Because if I locked it in here, that cants the hot end. Don't want that. Almost there, but still, I've got that weird offset. Let's see, where do we... Alright, so now I've got the 4 holes correlated with the direction that we need it. And then I just took a 7mm socket and tightened that down my hand. Now should be able to take our silicone boot. And then there we go. There's our V6 hot end. Alright. Now I should be looking that I will have this dropped in here. And I should have the 4 holes that will correlate with locking this into place. All right. It doesn't tell me anything about gapping or spacing, but I think we're going to take care of some of that when we get the inductive probe in there. All right. Now we're going to look at getting the PCB and everything installed and the fans. I still got to file down, and I got to pop the cover off of this guy, so the top cover off of it. Alright, so there's the top cover off. There's our blower fan. I need to take this nub and this nub down some more. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this than just working it with a file. So I'll make sure I'm not going to wreck the housing when I do it. Or shoot pieces of plastic into my eye. You gotta be more cognizant where I'm at with camera. I'm really just shaving plastic off. I probably should have just printed out the jig and just used the jig on this for the cut. That's fine. Maybe I'll do that for the second build. For the first build, we're just going to roll with it. Let's check the fitment. All right. So we got the first fan in. Let's go over to our other manual. So there's a clockwork. Okay. I guess we should pick up here, huh? Even though ours is going to be a little bit different than what this one is. Bend string, be careful, bend the string, relieve, clear the print head. Part printing, press and hold the print cord to prevent bending of the rebound nozzle. We don't have the rebound installed, we're not running the rebound. Okay, so let's take a look over here. So I see that that screw is mounted forward. So we got the screw mounted forward. And then, hold on. Should be these four. Except I think they say that we're supposed to be using the button head cap screws. Except that doesn't show me anything. That wants me to go back through. Okay. So it says set it in there. So lock that into place first, and then set the M3x8. But will the M3x8s feed into this top end? No, they will not. Because they will not, I believe that this is going to be like an M2. No, it's an M2.5. So the instructions say, on the Voron design to run M3x8s, but this is different than what that one is. I'd have to look to see if there's actual instructions for the other one. So we're just going to drop these factory set M2s, and we do have enough penetration through there that it should be fine. So I'm going to drop two of those guys in. very cautious not to over tighten these. Because, well, I don't want to damage this V6. No, hold on. Yeah, that threads. Where are you not threading? Okay, there we got a thread that time. So I'm just going to snug these up. All right. Once I have those two kind of just locked just to hold this in place, we grab our back cover. And so for our back cover, we should be just threading these through. So we're going to wrap the cabling. So we're going to wrap the cabling. And this is going to be M3 by 16s. So I'm going to grab two M3 by 16s. 1, 2. Alright, once those are in place, swap back over to our 1.5 for these M2.5s. I'm going to drop those guys in. Alright, here's our lower assembly. Alright, scrolling on down, got those set. PTFE should stick out 11 mil above the surface of the print. 11 11 mil of the principal. Okay, so 11 mil above that. So I need to get some PTFE tubing. I don't know if any PTFE tubing actually came in the kit. Let me take a look at the bomb. I do have spare PTFE tubing here. Let's see. Scroll up. Where is the bomb? Bomb list. Okay, so I do not see any PTFE tubing on the bomb. YouTube. Good old YouTube. Alright, so no PTFE tubing. And so we're going to grab a stock section of PTFE tubing. And so we need to have 11 mil sticking out of here. So we get a section of PTFE tubing, set this to 11 mil. So I need 11 mil of tubing. Pull out that very dull X-Acto knife. All right. Set that back to 11 mil. And that's pretty darn close. You may just need to go down a skosh, but or I'll just push it further in. That's not good. I may just cut another section of it. So, so I don't know how far down that's gonna go. Just ruin that section of PTFE tubing, which it's fine. So I think that PTFE tubing is gonna go all the way down until I hit that break. Now we need to cut the 11 mil section. So make sure you're checking that, is make sure it sets all the way in there. Sets all the way in there before you check your measure for your cut for the PTFE. Alright. We're going to double check, get that back to 11 mil. Alright, so we got 11 mil. Alright, so now we have that set. Alright, so back over to the sabur, because let's check the boron switch wire. So I remove the supports. I think we got those removed already. Except not on this side, so we're going to snip these out. And be very cautious not to break them. Same for this side. Snip out a little bit of support material. All right. All right, so now those are free and clear. Our other hot end pieces, we're going to put them back in the carrying case. Save those for a rainy day. Alright. LED wiring. So let's grab our LED wiring kit. So we got our LED wiring. So LED logo, LED diffuser, and so the diffuser, I ended up printing these at the office earlier, and so this diffuser is set for, it's a PETG in green because I kind of wanted the accent color just to maintain consistency. And so I've got one dropped in here already. But if we look at it, I've got my handy dandy cellular telephone communication device. Let me turn on our flashlight. Turn on our flashlight. Let me drop this over the top. That's pretty good. I do like. Is it the exact green? But no, it's pretty darn close on the green itself, and so I'll bring this up so you guys can see a little bit easier. It's more, the camera's not picking it up as well, but it's a very, very nice green, and it does blend well with the hot end assembly. Flashlight off. Alright, so we're going to take the LED bracket. So here's our LED bracket. And we're going to drop that in. And so it should be this top one with the cables facing up. So that is mostly set. All right. Once you have the bracket with the cables facing up. it should be going from there, routed through, and then down. So tool head to the left, tool head to the right. And drop the diffuser into the slot and then push it forward. And then add that on there. So LED wiring, routing. Okay. So flip this guy back over. And this is only going to go in one way. So that 45-degree cut. So we're looking at this like shallow 45-degree cut right here. And then as I hold it away from me, inverted, that shallow 45-degree cut is going to be down on this side. The sharp cut over here in the opposite corner. So we should be able to realign that. Drop that in. And then push that into place. And so we have that set in there. Now we're going to take our LED bracket. Our LED bracket has a specific cut on it, and so it should go in like so with the wiring facing up. And so that sets in. I mean, facing up even though I'm looking down at it, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't, I don't know. Okay. From here, I'm going to route the LED wiring. And so I'm not stabbing at the wiring because I don't want to break that casing on it. I'm using this flat section right here to push it down into the channel. Go around that tab that we broke off earlier. Now I'm going to orient this guy. And so those LED diffusers need to be pointing back towards my face. Check this real quick. My camera froze up, so we're setting the camera. Okay. I wish they had just included all these steps into one guide versus having to go back and forth between two different guides. Neither here nor there. Go back to see if I got a, yeah, so it's going to be that one. So it doesn't feel like it's going in all the way. Maybe that's as far as it'll go in. Try the opposite side real quick. When you're setting them in, try not to push on the wiring, because the wiring is going to be kind of like the weakest point. I'm trying to push in on the PCB itself. It just does not want to go in. There we go. All right. Now we're going to put some relief on the wiring. I'm going to try to drop it into its channel. I'm getting it, it's binding up a little bit because I didn't push them in sequence with each other, so it's pinching a little bit. Oh, come on. There we go. And then I got to be cognizant of where my camera's at. Easier for me to use my fat gut in order to kind of brace things instead of having it free floating out in front of me. Alright, so our wiring is now set for those sections. And we're going to tuck this wiring underneath. Alright, so there we've got LED 1, LED 2, and then LED 3 as part of the diffuser. Now this cable is going to route back over and then run through this channel. And then underneath that clip. Alright. Okay. Next, I think we're going to put on a control board, if I'm not mistaken. So, put the diffuser in, push that in with the LED, run the LED wiring. Rotate the fan so the wires exit the top and the air is pushed inwards. Insert the fan at a slight angle and clip it into place. So that's going to be the brackets and everything facing towards me. I'm going to have the wiring exiting the top. And I think the wiring's going to go through. The wiring's going to go through this channel down, across, following the same path as this, and then up, and then through this channel, and then up. I don't know if there's enough wiring for that. Yeah, it might be a little tight. I think it just slid right into place, so I guess we're going to roll with it. See, where is the cable? Let me make sure I'm putting the cable in the right spot. No. So fan wiring around is going complete up. I'm an idiot. Alright, so we're just going to drop the fan in and have it route it that way. That works for me. Alright, so drop the fan in. And we're going to route it through that same channel. Underneath that clip. Alright, so now we have our LED, our lower fan, our blower fan. Alright. Not looking too bad right now. Alright. Upper fan, we already did that. And so we're going to actually take the board. I think now we're going to go back over to the other instructions. And so yeah, so here's our board. So we got our 5015 blower, you got our 4010 fan, we got our RGB lights. And so we're going to grab the accessory board. And the accessory board, we're going to take M3x6 button heads. So I think this is one. So that's an M3x6. We have our accessory board, and we're going to pull these connectors out. Come on. Good Lord. These are in there tight. Right, so we got our accessory board. So our accessory board is going to go over the locking screw positions, one there, and then so not lining up exactly. Okay, there we go. I think it's going to be, I'm having a problem with these little nubblings right here. They're not allowing me to place it so we get it flush. Quickly hit it with a file, and then we are fine. Alright, so I don't see any spacers that are going to go into this. I guess it's just going to be taking these button head cap screws and dropping them into place. Let's grab 1, 2. All right. And here, we'll connect our fan up. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all this excess cable quite yet. Trying to get that cable to feed back in into its channel slot. Ba-doom. All right. This should connect here. RGB will connect here. Or our LED should connect here. And our blower will connect here. Figure out how I can get this cabling. I wonder if I could tuck it slightly under the board, maybe. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out exactly the best way to put the cabling inside without having to cut and recrimp all the wiring, because I really don't want to do that. All right. Which is funny because it shows a complete different orientation for the fan. Now I take a bunch of the slack out. Or at least the fan cable, so maybe we'll do that. So we'll pop the lower fan, pull some of that through. It has it oriented like this. On the bottom. there's just not a lot of room to play with this. With how they want that cable ran. Alright, that did take quite a bit of the slack out of the cable. Alright, I think that's as good as we're going to get for right now. Alright. Our hot end tooling board. Hot end tooling board. We still have the connectors all in here, so we're going to pry those out. So that's good, that's good, that's good. That's good. There's that other button head from the other night when we were trying to install it, and there was stuff. I noticed one of the pins over here was actually bent a little bit, so make sure to check your pins. And so it's that guy right there. And this one was actually bent down and forward. I mean, once we get into the build, I think it's just going to pull it back into where it needs to be. And so alright, so our hot end tooling board. I'm going to grab the spacer. Spacer with the nubs forward. We're going to go M3x6. And that's going to go onto the I think we have to remove the cover here to get to this. Pop that off. Open that up. So I think this is going to go right here with the spacer. So we get the spacer put in. And it says 2 M3x6. I don't think M3x6 is going to be deep enough for this. Maybe it will be. Just put the spacer, M3x6, and then M3x6. doesn't make a lick of sense though. So that almost correlates. Well, that correlates. Why would it be the M3x6? Because that's just, I don't know. Let's find out. Maybe there will be enough room. No, I spoke too soon. There's no way that could be the M3x6. It's supposed to go from here, and then that's not deep enough for an M3x6 to go through the spacer and then lock into the board. Because an M3x6, when we look at it, so there's the M3x6, and it's like I don't have any exposed threading back here. And I think that's pretty much capped out. And I don't have any exposed threading, so is this in error? Let's see. Hot end tooling board. Yep. If I went straight to the unit, yeah, M3x6 would work, but I need the spacer, I would think, because of how the motor is set right here. Because this should mount like this. It's like, yeah, I need this. I need the spacer. But if I can't get the spacer to fit with an M3x6, what threading do I use for that? Is the question at hand. Let's see. Where are you? So it's like it'd be an M3x6 if I was not using the spacer. It's got to be something more than that running the spacer. Okay, so let's go back to here. Hot end tooling board. Motor, limit switch, probe hot end assembly, M3x6, through the board, through the spacer, and into the heat set. That little blue dot right there, and that little blue dot is what I'm assuming is here for the spacer, but there's not enough bite for an M3x6 to go through there, so I think we need to go to like an M3x8. But I don't think we have any M3x8 button heads. M3x6 button. I mean, I guess we could try to use M3x8s, but the M3x6 just, it doesn't have enough bite, and it doesn't. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It has enough bite to go through, the control board, and then if we grab the spacer, wherever I set the spacer down at, right there, it's like there's not enough bite to get through the board plus the spacer and then into the unit, so I may just opt for socket head screws versus the button head to get it to work. I mean, am I crazy on that? I don't know, I feel kind of crazy. I'm gonna grab two M3x8s. With the M3x8, now I've got enough bite for the spacer, and then to go into the actual carriage, or the oh gosh, the Clockwork 2. So I think that's what I'm ultimately going to do. And so orientation for this could be up. no idea when where we lost audio there, but we went ahead and used some M3 by 8 socket heads to go through the PCB board, through the spacer, and into the heat sets, because I wasn't able to get it like matched correctly in order to get it to sync and mount up. And so something to think about when you guys are running your build is take a look at that. If I can get this to feed over the top, behind, maybe. To connect it into there. I might have to loosen this one up. Get some play in it. So I loosen this back bracket up for the drag chain link, and then I routed the cable around the motor. I'm going to cinch these two back down. All right, now the toolkit, move this out of the way. Move the bench behind me. Get some more room to work. All right, that's gonna go away. That's gonna go away. That's gonna go away. That's trash. That's gonna go back into the Allen keys. Put this stuff over here. Back in that cutting roller. All right, go time. Toss that. All right. Okay. If you haven't figured out that I have no idea what I'm doing, that's too bad. Now you know. Actually, it hasn't been too bad. Actually, and so, okay. So I need to set these to a gap of 3 mil. It's over here. And so these two screws right here, this guy and this guy, we're going to set those to a gap of 3 mil. And they're pretty much set to 3 mil right now. All right. Once we have that gap set, yeah, that locked down, those locked down, that set. We got our probes for our Omron. I think we set that to 6. Alright, so gonna take that, drop that over at 3 with one 3x8 socket head screw cap. So we're going to take our Clockwork 2. And that Clockwork 2 is going to I think this needs to get routed though. So what is the routing? This needs to come out to the side. And the Z switch, I don't know where the Z switch needs to get routed to. Let's see. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, hold on. So this guy is going to go here. It's going to go there. And the tolerance on that tight. There we go. Because my Omron cable was kind of getting in the way there. So we're gonna take a M3x8. So M3x8 socket head. Just go up. And that's a M3x8. Two of these guys. Need some auxiliary lighting. So that M3i8 is going to feed through here. So first M3x8. We're going to go down to the second M3x8 through the access hole. Lock that one down. All right. So we're going to grab this dude, which is going to be our heat block, our fan shrouding. And that's going to, there's these little notched grooves right here and right here, and so I'm actually going to ream those out a little bit because post-processing didn't come out as well as I would hope. Because again, I did print these with a brim. And I need that extra little bit of material because those two spots that we set with the 3mm gapping, so those two M3x8s with that 3mm gapping, this is going to slide up and mate with those as long as the gapping is set appropriately. And it looks like we may need to loosen those up some. Off a little bit. So we're just going to back those off skosh. And try to reseat it. And again, it's making sure that PTFE tubing goes into the carriage. I'm just going to snug those up real quick. Looks like it needs to go up just a hair more. Get over that bottom lip. Loosen that back up. So I want those to sit flush. Sorry, I don't mean to be blocking the camera with my head. Yeah, that's better. All right, now we're going to be grabbing our front. This is pretty darn exciting. I'm happy. How about you guys? But I'm happy. All right. All right. Front plate. And so this little harness right here is going to go, and it should mate right up with that. But there's like no room for error on this. Make sure all these wires are down below. Maybe I do need to take these wires and cut them down some. So that, or maybe I'll just get some tape and tape these harnesses down. I just don't have any ESD safe tape. Well, I do have electrical tape. I guess that would work. Okay. So, I don't want to use a lot of it because I don't want to keep adding more material into the build. And hopefully these cables that are kind of loose in here won't make too much of a rattling noise. And I don't think it will. It'd be funny if it did. Almost tragic if it did. I don't know if you guys have some experience or some suggestions, once I do get viewers that is, on how to best work the wiring management. Maybe we can kind of help everybody else out once they get into their own builds. Really, I'm just trying to get these wires so they press in and stay out of the way. All right, now we're going to go back up here. Oh, stab down rather snug. All right. Okay. Now we're going to go with M3 by 50 and M3 by 25. So M3 by 25 and M3 by 50. 2 and 2. So let's go with our M3 by 25. 1, 2, M3 by 50. Two. That seems right. Seems like it's trying to push it out, which means it's not biting into the heat set. Oh, no, it bit now. Okay. All right. should just thread it in. Something blocking that one. Okay. Pull that out. Pull this guy out. Oh, okay, I see what's happening. So when I put the heat set in there, there is some material that is actually blocking the threading, so I cannot buy it. So we're just gonna gingerly clean this guy out. Stab myself in the thumb. No blood though. Just need to clean it out enough to get the thread started. Okay, where is my other stabby device? Let's see if I can get the thread through from the opposite side. Maybe push that material out. Oh man. It's actually quite a bit more difficult with all the wiring in here. And it looks like my camera's just had a error. So we're going to get the cameras back up and running here in a second. And then we're going to continue going through this. So it looks like MonaServer just shut down. Let's start MonaServer back up. Yeah, just bear with me for a second, guys, getting this thing back up and running. Alright, let's see, we should be good to go. Now we're going to go ahead and alright, back into business. Alright, so the issue that I'm having right now. So the issue that I'm having right now, this one. So I'm having a problem with this. I've got some material that's stuck in there. And it's being very I've got some material that's stuck in there and is being very stubborn. So we're just going to disassemble it and then try it again. So we're just going to disassemble it and then try it again. I'm going to ream a screw through on that other side. I'm going to ream a screw through on that other side because we just lost a M3x8 down into the abyss. Back that off. Back that off. Pull that off. Back that off. And then pull that off. Get the M2x8 out. And we're going to...
That's where I might have it easier access to get behind it.
And that's where I might have it easier access to get behind it.
Which I don't. God bless America. God bless America. It's like I'd be turning into the definition of insanity here in a second. Just trying to wring that out. Yep, there we go.
I'm just trying to wring that out. Yep, there we go.
The cause of all the problems.
That was the cause of all the problems. That little guy right there.
Alright.
Alright.
Okay. Back into business.
Okay.
This guy.
Back into business. Now we're going to reset this guy.
That's reset.
Now that's reset.
Flush.
Flush.
Now we should be able to take our front cover.
Now we should be able to take our front cover.
With my awesome tape job. Still might have a little bit of ABS in there. Alright, there we go. Whew! Because I wasn't paying attention to the video feed cut off.
Because I wasn't paying attention to the video feed cut off.
Back to the hot end assembly.
But anyway, we reassembled everything back to the hot end assembly.
Now we're going to work on getting our wire hooked up.
Now we're going to work on getting our wire hooked up.
Let's see if I get busy real quick.
So we're gonna get busy real quick.
Alright, so we're going to go back over to these instructions.
Alright, so we're going to go back over to these instructions.
So we're going to go with our limit switch, and then we're going to go, so limit switch is going to go here.
Then we're going to go, so limit switch is going to go here.
Prox probe here, motor is already attached.
Prox probe here, motor is already attached.
Thermistor, and then
Thermistor, and then
okay, so I'm looking at it.
Okay, so
We've got
I'm looking at it. We've
thermistor
got
at the front.
Thermistor at the front.
Let's see what to do.
Let's see.
We will pop the PC.
What to do? We will pop the PC. We will pop the board off.
Which means taking the front cover off again.
Which means taking the front cover off
For
again.
reason.
For good reason.
Put this on.
So I can't get this on.
Then we're gonna have an impasse anyway.
Then we're at an impasse anyway. So I'm having problems connecting the
Hot end assembly, and as soon as I pop it up, it just pops right
hot
on.
end
It's like,
assembly, and
you gotta be
as soon as I pop it up, it just pops right on, and it's like, you gotta be kidding me.
I think it was maybe just that angle that I was trying to get to it at.
It was maybe just that angle that I was trying to get to it at.
So I've got the thermistor on the forward. I've got
the thermistor on the forward. I've got the
here.
so forward meaning
connector for the
right here.
LED.
Towards the PCB
The
connector
fans.
for the LED
So thermistor forward.
and the fans. So thermistor forward.
The heating element to the rear.
The heating element to the rear.
That's an 8. That's an 8.
That's an 8. That's an 8.
That's also an 8.
That's also an 8.
That's right. You did use 8s because the 6s went.
That's right. You did use 8s because the 6s wouldn't fit.
Some of your guys' builds go a little bit smoother. So
some of your guys' builds go a little bit
assemble
smoother.
and then disassemble.
So I had to assemble and then disassemble. Now we're back into the reassembly.
Those are going to be heated.
Those aren't going to be heated. We should go stand back up.
We should go take our front cover.
Now we should go take our front cover.
We should be able to get our front cover.
We should be able to get our front cover
up.
Along my connector.
And now we're going to tighten it all back down. Alright. And so the problem that I ran into was I couldn't get the thermistor connector here attached, and I couldn't get the hot end heating cord attached, and so I had to disassemble it, take the PCB board off, connect it, and then put the PCB board back on. So when you guys are doing your build, you might want to mount some of the electrical components first before working the assembly. So get these set in position, lock them down here a little bit. Just gonna get the thread started on all of them. That's the one that we had that extra ABS material stuck into. Alright. Now, we still got our motor mount hooked up, so our motor is hooked up. The Z, or the X probe, we're going to go, so the X probe should be on the lower. And our proximity sensor should be on the upper. Alright. We should be able to take that down. Ta-da! Finally. Alright. There is our stealth burner. We have not tensioned down the gantry yet. But I'm going to do a filament feed path real quick just to make sure that we're good. So that's how much I was able to feed in. And so from there, that should be right down to the tip of the, or to the heat block. So we look to be good. All right. Whew, what a night. Okay. So you got that, and that all set. Now it's going to be drag chain time. Yay, drag chains. One drag chain, two drag chain. One bracket. No bracket. All right, for the drag chain. Now we got two brackets on, so one of these brackets needs to come off. And so this is going to go orientation like so. So this is going to have to get inverted here. Alright, so our drag chain we should have set like this. So our drag chain is going to set on here. Oh man. So M3x6 flatheads. So it looks like my motor cable may interfere with that. It came untucked. I want to get that cable back in there. Why did you do that? Get that up here. No, don't tell me you gotta disassemble it. Get those cables routed so they don't run into the drag chain. You know what I was thinking I was being smart at routing that motor cable where it was. And I'm running into issues. Oh, no, we might have it. A little hook and pull. There we go. That's better. Alright. Back to drag chain time. Okay, so our drag chain is going to go here to here. M3x6 flatheads. Here. I may have to remove one of these links because this looks really, really long. Let me check it on the links. 1, 2, 2, actual links, not the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So yeah, I'm going to need to remove some of these links because that's way too many links. So on here,
I've had two microphones on, so there's been a lot of weird audio. Alright, so this needs 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 links. So 15 sections is what it says. So I need to remove 3. 3 sections is what I got to remove. And 1, 2, 3. All right, there we go. So now I'm going to grab 2 M3 so 2 M3 T-nuts, 2 more M3x6 flatheads, 1, 2. Dang it. All right. Smash that into the bed. Okay. Recommended number of sections, drag 2 to 1 sections. Drag chain and wire. Recommend number of sections of drag chains. So this one's being, so this could be 21. So I think we're going to have to actually add to this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I'm going to add these guys on. Make sure we keep the same orientation so it articulates correctly. And then we have the female receptacle on the gantry. Come on. Get that lock in. And then, okay. All right. Hooray. All right. We're looking better. We're looking good. Okay, so now drag chain on wire. That's going to get zip tied down. See the zip tie channel. Alright, so we're going to have to go to our wiring bag. Alright, wiring bag. It's not actually a bag, it was just loose in there. Undo our wiring. And it's really nice that they have all these wiring harnesses already preset. Because, oh man, what a pain if it was not. But getting these to route through the cable chain might prove to be difficult, so I'm going to go use the restroom right quick, so I'm going to be right back. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I had to go use the restroom right quick. Alright, so on our connector we've got 2 ports, 1, 2. Alright, flip this around. And so we got one batch of cables, and so we've got the connector that's going to go towards the main PCB, which is going to be this guy. And we've got the secondary connector, and I believe this is just straight for the hot end assembly alone. Or maybe that's some of these thicker gauge wire that are going to be over here. I'd have to look at it again just to be sure. We're going to take these, and then out of the assembly it's going to be a direct 90-degree bend and through the channel. And so I might pop this off so I can route it through, because getting all these wires through that is gonna be a nightmare. for both, because it's going to have to go from here through here, across, zip tie down, underneath, up, and then back down. So I might, I thought these were swing gate ones, because if they're swing gate, that's going to make it a little bit easier. So I have a spare section of the drag chain somewhere. Alright. Hoping to get this knocked out tonight. Pop that off. And they do look like swing gate ones, I just don't know how these ones open. If they open. Otherwise, we're just going to be feeding cable, which I'm fine feeding cable at the same time. It'd be nice if these would just pop open so I could drop them in. Aha. Alright. So what we're doing is we're opening up all the drag chains. And so they do pop open. So I'm taking just a pointer, I'm dropping it inside, hooking it and pulling it up. And it is unlocking just fine. Except for this guy. Last one, okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to attach our two harnesses. Slide that off to the side. So I'm going to connect the top one first. Clip into place. Go to the bottom one. It didn't feel it click, but it feels like it is locked in. So now we're going to grab the cabling. And we're going to start feeding it into the channel. Right, once we have that set, I'm going to bring this back around. Make sure all the cables are through. You have good control of them. I'm going to drop that back onto the connector bracket. Now we're going to pop this guy off. And this will probably be the last thing we do for tonight. Come on. Oh, come on. Thank you. All right, now we're going to open these guys up. I'm going to stab myself in the thumb again. That would be at that perfect angle to go right in between my nail bed and my thumb. That would be no bueno. Alright, now that we have all of those opened, we grab our cabling. And our cabling is going to be set with a zip tie on the carriage. So we're going to grab a zip tie. So I also have the zip tie set. And we're going to look at how it's going to feed. So this should go down. And then so it's going to go down, it's going to go up, and then we're going to start setting in. So get that first section in, and we're going to lock that first one down. And we're going to slowly go through, make sure we have everything captured. And then we're going to push it back into the female receptacle. And I'm probably going to add a zip tie down here as well. Maybe two. All right. So we're going to zip tie there. I get another zip tie here. just to assist in the cable management. And so I added 3 zip ties just to keep that cable bundle nice and taut together. Maybe I'll 3D print a bracket to hold it here on that routing. So now we're going to continue down. So I'm going to have to disconnect that bottom one now because it's reversed for that last link. Get that done. I'm going to pop that last link open. And before we lock it back into place, we're going to go ahead and just start feeding all these guys down into the electronics bay. There's a whole mess of cable. I do like that every single one of them does have a label on it. That's going to help us out significantly later on. And then we're going to pull the cable taut, get the drag chain reset. Okay, drag chains reset. And I'm probably going to add one more zip tie down here at the bottom. All right. Let's check the range of motion. All right. Okay. All the cables are routed through. I do have those little spacers underneath, so I'm just going to leave this here. All right, and so next stage of the build, we are cooking with gas, or oil, or fire, or any of the above. Not too shabby. Starting to come together pretty good. Alright, so tonight we assembled the remainder of the stealth burner, got everything set. Everything looks to be in operation. We did test to make sure that filament would be able to travel through and that the extruder motor and gearing is working. So as you can hear it, if I push that down to the hot end, that's how much I have. Which is basically down to where the throat stops and the hot end begins. We got good range of motion. I'm going to have to work on tightening the belts up. We got all the cables routed through our drag links. Looking pretty good so far. I'm really looking forward to getting the closure on and, you know, finish out the project build. But hey, the Late Night Garage with Nick, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next time as we continue on with our first of 2 Voron builds. And this is the Ender wire. So it's a Ender 3 Pro conversion to a Voron switch wire. It's been some pain points along the way, but good lessons learned. And yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow night for the next part of the build where we're going to get into the electronics bay and start doing all of the wiring. And so until then, later on.